All right, cool. I'm glad you had a good time. All right, let's discuss the who's next. You posed this question to me, and you said realistic. How did you phrase it? Realistically, who could Penn State get? Right?
Realistically, right? Because there's a list of top touring acts of 2023. Ed Sheeran's on that list. Ed Sheeran's not coming to the Jordan Center, or not coming to Beaver Stadium. Um,
Let me get my list. Hold
Now, I
on.
mean, it is the world's fourth largest stadium, right? Like, but it's not going to be. It's got
It's
to be
also
somebody who's worth it. It's also Central Pennsylvania. Um,
okay. Here's my list. Here's my list when you pose this
yeah,
question.
go ahead.
I said Bruce, Garth Brooks, Taylor Swift, Beyonce, and of course our live taping of our podcast.
All viable options.
Yes, pretty
The
cool.
ones you sent me after that, like
Okay, I want to know why you are upset about this answer because I think this is the correct answer of the rock groups that are out there. The Foo Fighters. I think the Foo Fighters would pack Beaver Stadium. They pack any stadium that they play. They only play stadiums.
maybe I'm just not a Foo fan.
I I don't know what to tell you. Who do you want?
I think your list. I think your first part of the list is that's it, right? Like, I mean, it's that.
There's one name that we
Maybe
didn't
Morgan
discuss.
Wallen.
Oh, I don't know. Got to watch out for chairs.
I
Um,
know, it's funny because Luke Combs is kind of the squeaky cleaner country star.
yeah,
He just drinks. He's not kind of a jerk, right?
yeah.
So there's that. What's the one name we didn't go ahead?
Billy Joel.
I think
That
not
one,
anymore. I mean,
that's
yes,
yes,
and with Elton John 25 years ago, not now, probably.
that's kind of how I felt about it too. Because I don't know, we didn't. I know we like talked about this in your article kind of prior to the event, but um, Billy Joel and Stevie Nicks played the Horseshoe, and I don't know how full that one was, but Billy Joel kind of, at least I think it could at least have potential because I feel like a lot of people have ingrained, same way with Bruce, in the northeastern part of the country, have ingrained themselves with his music. Um,
Yeah, and look, he put 40 or 50 in there, right? Right,
yeah,
which is still a good day. And I think good days exist if they want them in terms of the promoter and or athletics or however that responsibility breaks out. I guess different promoters for different artists. But I mean, to make it feel like 80 and feel sold out, that's just not as big it's not a huge cohort of people, right? And
mm-mm.
and the deal that they made for Luke Combs not to be in Philly or Pittsburgh on this tour seems to be like an essential part of that for whomever else. Like Kenny Chesney, as long as he's not going to Pittsburgh and Philly, okay. And then he can hang his hat on putting 85 in there if he tries, and the stage is a little different, right? I mean, there's probably a couple ways you could eke out a few more seats and say this is the largest venue of my career. And he's played Neyland Stadium before because that's where he's from. So
I mean, I think the other part that you do have to think about, and I don't know how rowdy the scene was on Saturday, but the Kenny Chesney concerts are like notoriously known
right,
for quite
exactly,
literal shit shows and disaster shows all over the place.
right.
And I don't know if you want to put up with that, like it, because that's more manpower, more people. I don't think you're going to get that with certainly any of the older groups, and I don't think you're going to get that with Taylor Swift fans. I don't think you would get that with Beyonce fans. Let me go back to the Foo Fighters. Maybe you pair the Foo Fighters, like I said to you, with another band, like Blink 182. That doesn't even
Okay,
sell
not my
you on
music.
it.
That's okay. Maybe so. Sure,
Okay, all
sure.
right.
I
You
mean,
just want you just want Pink. That's all.
yeah, and she's not coming. Um, and I think to the fans' point, I think that's a very good point about Kenny Chesney, just because of the expectation of those fans and the reputation they've owned. I mean, it's not like it's Hell's Angels, but like I drove past several fields, walked through a couple other parking areas as I was leaving. People bagged their stuff. There weren't littered broken tables all over the place and whatever else. People were there. I saw a lot of young kids, right? That came in with mom and dad, young kids that I don't know that I'd have brought to a stadium for a concert just because, drunk people. So I think that's it too. There's a sweet spot there. So that those artists and people that can do this in that way is not huge.
Yeah.
But then again, if they get 55 or 60, it's probably a success. for whomever.
Yeah, I wonder what I was just gonna ask. I wonder what the break even is on that. Like what the because I think there is a way you could do it. Maybe not necessarily like a music festival, but a pairing of certain groups of artists and kind of get multiple. I think you could have a like I think the Blake Shelton thing. I don't think Blake Shelton. Not that I know country music, but I don't think Blake Shelton was big enough of a country
Right.
star even at that time to get that many people. But if you would have paired Blake Shelton with I don't know, name another. I want to say like Brooks and Dunn, but they haven't been famous for forever. Um, like somebody of that higher level, but maybe not quite the Luke Combs level. Then I think you could get